Hey, it's Terry Gorry, and this is the Irish Law and Small Business podcast. There's a report there today in the media of one of these sad cases where a family is contesting a will of a deceased parent. The judge in this case has warned the Terranure family that the only winners in any dispute would be the lawyers. The dispute is around a gentleman who passed away and was 76 years of age, but he left €5,000 to each of his 5 adult children. But the estate was worth €610,000 and the bulk of it was going to his partner. Siobhan Fahey is one of the 5 adult children. She argued before the High Court that her father had lacked capacity to make a will under which she and her siblings would receive €5,000 out of the €610,000 estate. The father, Mr. Dooley, had separated from his wife in the 70s. He died aged 76 in 2017. Under a 2015 will, he left the bulk of his estate to his partner of some 36 years, Moira Murphy, and $5,000 to each of his 5 adult children. Miss Fahey told the previous hearing that her father had a Jekyll and Hyde character personality, and he'd shown violent behaviour to her and her siblings over the years. He left 3/4 of his property at Terranure to Miss Murphy, and she died though in 2019. The other quarter share was left to his brother, a priest, Father Desmond Dooley. He died last May. The Terranure property had been the family home of Mr. Dooley, and he'd bought out the shares of his siblings but had deferred paying Father Dooley his share. Miss Fahey had previously told the court her father had shown bizarre and unpredictable behaviour over many years. The judge ruled that the questions around wills made by Mr. Dooley would have to be decided at a plenary court hearing. The judge said that it was clear that there were significant concerns since 2014 and likely at least 2 years previous to that about Mr. Dooley's mental well-being and cognitive ability and capacity to make a will. However, the matter could not be ruled without going to a full hearing, which would be an expensive process according to the judge for those involved in the case. The judge said she was at a disadvantage in making a decision because Mr. Dooley's partner was deceased and he was estranged from his family. Richard Murphy was a nephew, or is a nephew, of Moira Murphy and the sole surviving executor of Mr. Dooley's estate. He's firmly of the view that Mr. Dooley held capacity in making his wills. The other 4 adult children are represented as well. They told the judge they intended to bring proceedings under the Succession Act to argue that their father had failed in his moral duty to make proper provision for them in the will, and that's an application under Section 117 of the Succession Act 1965. While the estate of Mr. Dooley was substantial, it was not worth millions, the judge pointed out. Everybody could end up getting less if the matters are not resolved. I would urge all parties to see if they can come to a settlement. That's what the judge encouraged the parties. Ms. Fahey then, who was representing herself, said we wouldn't be here if a settlement had been agreed during initial talks in 2018. The judge told Miss Fahey there was nothing to stop her entering into a settlement agreement now, if she was happy now, which would allow her to put the past behind you. The judge said that if the dispute went forward to a full hearing, the cost of those proceedings could be very significant, and in those circumstances the only winners out of that will be the lawyers. The judge ruled that all parties' legal costs to date be taken from the estate of Mr. Dooley. So this is a warning from a judge to parties who are looking to contest or dispute a will, warning them from the judge about the cost essentially coming from the estate, and perhaps whittling down the value of the estate quite significantly, especially if there is a dispute going on in the High Court which takes a considerable amount of time, and in which there's going to be a number of legal solicitors, barristers and so on and so forth. Hope you find this video useful. If you do, I'd appreciate if you give a thumbs up down below. And if you're interested in making a will, then certainly you should seriously consider it, and contact us if you'd like, and we can go through it with you. Thanks a lot.